online or something. Maybe it's a video game that can't be found. What's something that you really do enjoy, but there's just no way for you to access right now? I miss movie passes, honey. Oh my god. Kwame says that's a great question. I really miss being able to get a breakfast burrito from this place called Taco Box in a small town in New Mexico. The breakfast burritos aren't that great, or the breakfast burritos here aren't that great. Word up, Kwame. There's a place in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, in downtown, not too far from a venue called the Launchpad, called The Mission, and it's open until like 3 a.m. or something, and they sell one of the best burritos I can remember having, and I'm convinced the place is still in business. It should still be open, but I can't get it, I can't access it now, so I feel you on that. New Mexican cuisine is sick. A lot of people think that New Mexican cuisine is just Mexican cuisine, but it is different. New Mexico has its own thing. Anyways, thank you for answering the question, Kwame, and thank you again for your redeem of the question. Thanks, Kwame. What the heck? It is he? Oh my god, somebody's making brownies. I smell it. chirping is. Undercutting whatever emotional strength a lot of these pieces have. I don't even know if you guys can hear the birds as clearly as I can. I think that's Medley for today.
Checking in with you. It's time to check in with me too. I'm fine, I'm checking in with you. Checking in.
What? Well done. I mean, at a certain point, right? At a certain point, the claps have to be so consistently well timed that I no longer feel the need to draw attention to it, right? I no longer say, "Oh, good timing on that clapper. That was a good clap, Leon. That was a good clap, Cyber." But, yeah, I was sick today. I think I'm just gonna say it forever. I'm getting stronger. Nice. Okay. Somebody asked earlier if I thought about doing music for like games, TV shows, movies, games, TV shows, game shows. I would love to do game show music. Ba-ba-ba-da. Really quick, since we're in the check-in, the first part of the check-in is I have to dab her up because it was redeemed twice. I remember asking the first redemption polka dots or stripes, but I don't remember who it was. Hello, do I pronounce that thwud or thod or thewud thwed? I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you for the follow. I appreciate you making the time. Welcome to the show. 2 bow ties says Unbay. I'm not gonna wear 2 bow ties. maybe I'm pretty sure there's going to be a time on stream where I try to like wear every single bow tie I own, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. That seems more of like a Jump the Shark season 5 morning medley move, and we're still in season 3. Whatever I feel works best, says Thwood Thwood. Thou. Great Wednesday, everybody, says a Cancel F. Hello, Cancel F. How are you? I love that one. I think I'm gonna do this one. I think I'm gonna do this one today. I might have done this like really. Oh my god, this one's very nice. I hope that this comes through on the camera, by the way. Welcome to Los Angeles. This is what my cul-de-sac looks like, but I'm using this camera so we can get a closer look in the sun on the bow ties pattern. So you have, so the polka dots are alternating between a white and like a gray, if you can see that, but the polka dots are actually laid at the bottom of each square. There's actually a checker pattern underneath it, and the checker pattern is black and like a dark gray, but since it's silk, it's really depending on how the light hits it. And then the dots themselves are just at the point of each square. It's really weird. It's a really weird bow tie, actually. But I love it. I love this one a lot. This one's Pronto, so I did not get this one from Men's Warehouse. I want to say I got this one from, what's that store? It's not Dillard's. Burlington? I want to say I got it from like a place like that. I'm sorry that I don't remember the exact store, but this one came from a department store for sure. The pattern is sick though. Thank you, Titanium Jones. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's really interesting. I don't even know what you call this pattern. We don't hear it. We don't see it. It doesn't exist. How come Mom lets you have 2 bow ties? That sounds like a question that would get me a whooping. I'm joking, but I like this joke. I like that joke and I like that reference. Remember when everybody on Twitter was using the "Mom says it's my turn," it's my turn on the Xbox or whatever? Mom says it's my turn with the Xbox. Remember when that was a cool thing? Everybody thought that was hilarious. Like, people were like crying. Thought that was the funniest thing to hit Twitter. Anywho, I think that this bow tie hasn't actually been in the stream before because I probably would have remembered going into such a in-depth explanation on it. It's still kind of funny, says some people here. There's a part of vanilla. Okay, this is not a breakdown of vanilla at all. I don't know if you did the stretch earlier, says Liana. I did not. And I'm doing it now. Get a little bit of these. I skipped yoga this morning again like a fool. Because I was too busy arguing with somebody. What are you gonna do? So this is not a breakdown. Titanium Jones redeemed a question. Oh, crap. I totally forgot. Thank you, Liana. This is why we have mods. Mostly to counteract my horrible memory. Titanium Jones, my question to you is... you've traveled from your home. The furthest place. It could be a city, state, country. It could be a mental state. I'm so close to 30,000 tokens. I can feel it, says MB Bleeder. Word. 30,000, Jesus. So a breakdown really quick of Vanilla. Vanilla is an interesting song. I made, it's on Ego Death. These are the chords from the intro. And these are fine. Still fine. Very triumphant, right? Going from that. And then, we're falling. And then we go up here. That feels very churchy to me. I don't know what kind of churches you guys went to, but something about from here. And then it kind of loses it. No longer churchy. Something about feels. Those passing chords definitely give me church vibes. Thank you for the lurk, Cyber. Yeah, Titanium, I hear it. And I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I feel like it's a simple thing. I feel like it's a very simple thing that I could easily recreate if I knew what the thing was that I was creating to begin with. The farthest I've been from home is when I came to LA last year. Oh. Well, I mean, that's a great distance. That's a great distance. You're in New York, right? Or like in that area? The tri-state area? Is the tri-state area New York? I actually don't know enough about the East Coast to have said that with any type of authority. When people say tri-state, I assume that means 3 states. Is New York one of the tri? Anywho, is New Jersey one of the tri too? Is it New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania? Ooh, is that the tri-state? New York, Philadelphia, oh my god, oh no, New York, Pennsylvania, I was right. Oh, never mind, it's Delaware. Or is it not? Or Maryland, arguably. It says, okay, what? Okay, well, as long as New York and New Jersey are 2 of the 3. That is, see, the thing is that if somebody's like outside of the country and you say to someone else that lives in, like, I don't know, Monaco or something, you're like, the farthest I've ever gone is from the east side of my country to the west side of my country. Somebody might say, well, that's not very far. You need to get out of your country. But people that live in the U.S. know that LA to New York might as well be leaving a country. Not only from a geographic, wow, that's sad. Anyways, not only from a geographic perspective, because it literally is a great distance to pass, but also culture shifts so much from New York to LA. Between the two and all the spaces in between, there's a lot of culture shifting between there. So it is quite a was there any, I mean, I guess this isn't fair because you didn't redeem a follow-up question, but was there anything jarring about being in LA after having, spent so much time in New York? Isn't the tri-state area that place in Phineas and Ferb? I haven't watched that show. Phineas and Ferb? I haven't watched that show, so I wouldn't know. California is basically its own tri-state, says Liana. Yeah, California is massive. It was a huge culture shift for me. I felt like I looked very mean compared to everyone else. You probably did. You probably did. Not gonna lie there. I mean, me and what year was this? Like 2015? Playing my first ever show in New York City. Like walking around the streets. I must have looked like a freaking like I hopped out of like Sesame Street. Like elbows above shoulders. Like, good morning. Why does everything look so sad? Wow, Subway? You telling me I can take the subway anywhere here? Wow, amazing. Top of the morning to you. Wow, what a delicious slice of pizza. You telling me he's gonna touch this hot dog with his hands and then I can get to eat it? Ooh, yum yum yum. Wow, how can you guys be so sad here? Everything's so walkable. Anyways, yeah, you probably did look a little mean. I know that I look mean for people in LA, typically. But that's just because I don't have a very friendly disposition normally. But in New York, I was definitely more, let's say, wide-eyed, I guess. I wasn't on full tourist brain and tourist mode, but I was definitely, like... a West Coast thing. I mean, a West Coast thing... You were probably giving Sesame Street vibes, says Mercedes. Mercedes has hung out with me, so probably. You can attest. Did I give off Sesame Street vibes when we hung out? I could. But there's this thing that I've noticed, right? Mercedes and everyone. I find most people in Cali are sad and poor or rich and smiling. You could just apply that to the entirety of the country. But I will say, there's this thing. I don't know if there's a word for it. Sorry, we are in the check-in, so you guys can check me in on how your Tuesday. Sorry, yeah, you can check me in on how your Tuesday was. But I'm just gonna keep going. But there is this thing. There is this thing I do, and so it's not always physical. Sometimes it's mental. In fact, most of the time it's probably mental. But I give people space to connect with me. I think that's what it is. I give people space to connect with me. And it's not like me looking at their eyes or smiling with my arms open wide. It's not necessarily that. It's like I give people the space to connect with me. When I approach people at a counter, like if I'm paying for something or if I'm buying something, I kind of allow this weird, intangible space to exist before business gets done, you know? If I'm getting on a Zoom call with people for work, I kind of have this whole like, all right, how are we doing? Or, how's your day been so far? Oh, I just got through watering the plants. Pharaoh's like going wild. Like there's kind of this space, and they can occupy that space. They can jump in that space, and I'll allow them to be there. I'll even jump in with them. Or they can ignore that space, and I'll carry on, you know. I think we've all been through the experience of walking up to maybe an employee at a company, and you open the interaction by saying like, hey, how you doing? And they just kind of slide that into the garbage and go, what can I get you? And it's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Or how you guys doing? What can I get to you? They just kind of skip over it. Hi, hello, what can I get? Yeah, they just skip right over it. And you skip over it with them. You just kind of go like, oh, they didn't want to occupy that space. We're down to business. And a thing that I felt in not only New York, but even Japan a little bit too, is that space does not exist for most people. So if I give them that space, they won't take it. And if I proposition that space, they will ignore it and act like it didn't happen. If somebody seems sad, I'm just like, hey, you good? Is everything fine? They will ignore that I asked them if they were okay. They will just continue along with the conversation. It is an interesting thing that... You guys see that? I don't even know if that was in the... Sorry. It was in the outside cam. It was really fast. Anyways, I don't even know if people care if that space doesn't exist, but I will say going to LA, I kept giving that space to people, right? I was asking people how they were doing that weren't really open to answer it. Or I was like waiting in line at a pizza place, and people and I just didn't get help. Waiting in line at a pizza place in New York was, I won't say it was jarring, but the line worked a little bit more like how lines work in bars when you're going to get a drink. Have you guys, I mean, on the West Coast, I don't know, maybe you guys are more bar experienced, or you're on the East Coast where you just kind of were raised that way, but, you know, going to a bar, the first time I went to a bar, I was going to order a drink, and I kind of just stood there being like, well, he's getting helped right now, and she's next, and then it should be me. And I just kind of sat there, and I waited, and it wasn't me. 15, 20 minutes went by. People just kind of came up and started asking for drinks, and I was just like, that can't be... You know, actually, can we talk about this for a minute? Because I know not everybody in these streams is old enough to even get into a bar. And I myself don't go into bars, really, anymore. Not very often. But I'm going to be vulnerable a little here. I've seen the way people handle bars. Kwame's aggressive at the bar. Kwame gets it. Here, how about this? I'll lay out my experience, and then you bar experienced people can tell me what I did wrong. The first time I went to New York, I got a panic attack, says Jaime. I want to touch on that later. Please bookmark in panic attacks, because I actually talked about panic attacks in the Discord before I started this stream, and I want to talk about them. I want to talk about them again. But I've gone to a bar, and I've stood there. And this isn't even the pizza thing. The pizza thing... If you want to understand how I'm drawing the analogy here, just apply everything I'm saying right now to the pizza thing, okay? Apply it to the pizza thing. Because the same thing happened, but I'll keep it to bars to make it a little bit more relatable for people all over the country. Going into a bar, waiting in line, seeing people get what they pause. Thank you very much, Pigman Epico, for the follow. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining the show. Now, I go to the bar. I'm third in line. I'm looking at somebody order. They get their drink, they leave. The next person is up and ordering. They get their drink and leave. Somebody over here, way at the end of the bar, orders. They get their drink and leave. Somebody way over here at the end of the bar orders. They get their drink and leave. The person behind me shouts over my shoulder. They get their drink and leave. And I'm like, okay, this is a learning experience, Omni. You just gotta yell, I guess. You don't have to wait for the bartender to make eye contact with you. Because she wasn't making eye contact with me. These people were just yelling stuff. And I was like, okay, all right. And I just yelled my drink and it didn't connect with her? Or at least she didn't say anything, and I was like, okay, how long is the appropriate bar time to wait before yelling my drink again? At what point do I become a bad customer? If such a thing even exists in a bar. Is there such thing as a bad customer at a bar? Because the ethics and mannerisms and expectations of social, like, politeness seems so low that I was like, where is the thank you? Oh my god. Tazazazaz? Tazazazaz. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. And welcome to the show. Tons of bad customers, says Jesse. For the bar, it's about signaling intent for the most part. Intent. Signaling intent. The person behind you getting their drinks first. That gets me so heated. Yeah. And he just... Thanks, Taz. I appreciate it. We're going to get to some music soon. This is the check-in portion of the stream, by the way, Taz. So for you and for Pikmin, I know you guys just joined. You can check me in on how your day was, yesterday. That's what we're doing in this section for the next few minutes of the stream. But you're more than welcome to share your day or your yesterday, however it was. I don't mind long stretches of silence with people, says Titanium. Word. Me too. I'm kind of like that too, though. You gotta be aggressive to order something. The person behind you getting the drink, though, that happens. Kwame says, I feel like there's a fine line between aggressive and angry black man when I'm ordering at the bar. Thank you. I don't know. Here's the thing, guys. And maybe this isn't just a me thing. Maybe this is everybody. I don't know how to raise my voice when requesting something without it sounding angry. And I never want to sound angry. And I think a lot of people are good at doing that. They're good at projecting and it not sounding inherently negative, I guess. So if you're at the bar, says Jesse, don't yell. Usually if you just say, hey, can I get something? They'll mentally cue you if they aren't terrible, says Jesse. Okay, so some of this is on the bartender then, I suppose. Aggression does go a long way, though, since people will walk all over you, says Umbe. This is fair. I cannot imagine being aggressive with a service person. Exactly. I think, here's the thing, Explosion and everybody. I worked customer service, but I never worked in an environment quite as aggressive as a bar. So I know, I liked people to be kind of polite and orderly. I liked people to wait in line when they were approaching me. But that didn't seem to happen in a bar. And so here's how I would order in a bar, guys, for years. I'm, like, not exaggerating. Like, at least 2, maybe a little over 2 years. This is how I ordered in bars. I went to the bar, and I would stand there, and I would just... I would square away, like, if we're at a club or something like that, or I'm at a bar, and I told somebody I'd be back with the drinks, I have already squared away about 15 to 20 minutes in my head of wait time for these drinks. And I go to the bar, and I just stand there, and I, like, lock on to the bartender's head, so that hopefully maybe in one moment, the bartender might just, like, very, very subtly catch my eye line. And if I catch the bartender's eye line, I smile real big, and I open my mouth. Nothing comes out of my mouth, by the way, because it's really loud in there, and I'm not going to waste my vocal cords on not even being able to reach the person anyway. I open my mouth, and I just word nonsense. I just go. And if they see me doing that, they see me going, then they're like, oh, okay, I think that person's trying to talk to me. And eventually, they will get to me. Usually about 15 minutes after everybody's gotten their drinks and left, and the only person at the bar now is the dude that's been sitting there for the past 3 hours and me with my bow tie. Then the bartender makes their way over to me looking tired and exasperated and goes like, did you need something? What can I get you? And then I order my drinks. And it takes roughly 25 minutes. I don't know how to get a drink faster. Eventually, you just stop getting drinks. Mercedes says, I would say excuse a bit louder because I'm soft-spoken. Like, excuse me, like a little bit loud. Excuse me. In what cadence? Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Well, excuse me, princess. Is that what he said? Is that what Link said? Does anybody remember that joke? Well, excuse... Hey, what's up, Randy? Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson, welcome to the stream. Randy Johnson, I think, was the name of a pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks? I think? I'm from Arizona. I probably should know this. I don't know anything else about baseball. I know Randy Johnson. I know Babe Ruth because he's a candy bar. I know Sammy Sosa because his name is alliterative and fun to say. And I know Ken Griffey Jr., I think, is another baseball player. Are these people dead? I don't actually know if Ken Griffey Jr. is a baseball player. Is that also a candy bar? Sorry. Anyways, welcome to the stream, Randy Johnson, and good morning to you. We are in the check-in portion of the stream. Feel free to check us in on how your yesterday was. Jesse says, being reasonable usually gets me whatever I want pretty quick. Especially if I'm not ordering stupid stuff. That's another thing. I'm never ordering, like, drinks. I'm usually ordering soda. I'm one of those, like, jamokes. I'm one of the people that pays 300... Sorry, not 300. I'm one of the people that... I guess 300 bits. I'm one of the people that pays, like, $3 for, I don't know, a third of a can of Sprite with a bunch of ice in it. I do that at the bar. I usually just give them a $5 bill. I mean, what's the point, right? What's the point in change? I'm just here to look cool. It always sounds like you need to go to better bars if you ever go to bars again, says Jesse. For sure. There's a few bars that I go to where it's nice and it's really easy to get a drink, like Griffin's on Kinsale. I love Griffin's on Kinsale. It's a lost art at this point, says Leon. Excuse me. Going back to bars after pandemic will be a new experience, says Kwame. Kiwi says, they usually come up to me because I look cool, I think, right? Who comes up to you? Bartenders? Dang, then I must not look like nothing. Titanium says, I feel like I've mastered the assertive eye contact to catch somebody when I need them. This is definitely a skill to master. Well, excuse... Oh, Pikmin! Pikmin knew what I was talking about. Thank you, Kiwi, for the shirt. Thank you, Kiwi, for the shirt compliment. I appreciate it. Ken Griffey is alive and well, says Kwame. Sick! Sick. And is... Or is not a candy bar. Barry Bonds. Also Barry Bonds, because steroids. Yes! Barry Bonds. Also alliterative. Also would make an amazing candy bar. I would eat something called a Barry Bonds bar. Barry Bonds bar. A Ken Griffey Jr. sounds like a candy bar to me. Who was the first? Randy Johnson? That doesn't sound like a candy bar. I get the feeling I'm going to have to be 30% more New Yorker post-pandemic, says Umbe. Probably. Probably. Rod because of J-Lo. Oh, Rod. A-Rod, right? I've heard people say A-Rod. I don't know what that stands for. Alexander Rodlington? A-Rod. A-Rod. What's A-Rod stand for? Alan Rodnick? Rodnick? Alan... Soda is reasonable. They can prepare it pretty quickly, says Jesse. I agree with this. That's probably why you get skipped, to be honest, says Liana. They don't know that. They don't know that before I order it. They don't know I'm getting soda before I order it. Who are they? I could be getting, you know, the biggest of the alcohols. And Explosion says, y'all New Yorkers are too powerful for me. If he tips, he's not gonna get skipped. And I do tip. I usually tip. I usually pay, because I always buy, like, soda. I usually pay for the drink twice. Like, if the soda's like $2, $2.50, I'll give him a $5. Or if it's like $3, I'll give him $6. But wait, why do I do that, actually? I don't know. I think because I want bartenders to like me. A Cancel Left says, went to the gym and spent a stupid amount of time trying to play 16th notes with 3 fingers in the bass at 135 beats per minute. How are you doing today? Holy, what? Stupid amount of time trying to play 16th notes with 3 fingers. Ugh. I'm barely a musician, a cancel F. But how am I doing today? I'm doing okay. I'm doing a little bit better than I was yesterday, but I think that's just because it's the morning. My mornings usually start okay, and then the day kind of deteriorates the longer it goes on. Jesse says, back in the before time when I didn't drink, bartenders would be on me to make sure that my Coke, Sprite, whatever was topped off. Oh, I kind of have a funny story relating to that too. It was because I would tell people that I was a designated driver. Even if I showed up by myself by Subway, I would tell everybody that I was a DD. And bartenders were a little bit nicer to me because I was a hero. I was keeping people from dying. But I wasn't, was I? I guess I was keeping me from dying. Huey says, I don't know. I feel like at bars I get a lot of attention. So I never have the problem waving down people. Yeah, well, I'm not going to touch that one, Kiwi. I get a lot of attention too, says Mpe. I feel like it's never a problem to get a drink either. I also don't go out in New York City much. Yeah, I will. I don't want to spend much time on this, but I do feel like it's a little bit harder for me to get a drink. And I won't touch on why, because I think everybody does already know. Anywhere I go in LA is like nerdcore. Nerdcore. Unbe looks 12. That's dope. 12 is good. 12 was a good age for me, right? 12 was when... I guess I can't remember anything from 12. 12 was when... I can't see it. I can't see 12. Wow, that's weird. Anyways, I guess I repressed a whole year. Kwame says, also getting a drink as a man is different than getting a drink as a woman. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it can be different. It can be different. It's just that is a very big conversation that I didn't want to have in the stream. So that's what I said, like, yeah, it's going to be harder for me to get a drink in a bar than it will be for a Kiwi any day, no matter, like, where the bar is or what it is. It's just going to be harder. Yes, it's Roddington, says Titanium Jones. Alan Roddington. Aaron Rodriguez, says Mercedes. Aaron Rodriguez? I guess that sounds... Really? Wow. That doesn't sound as cool as Roddington. Alex Rodriguez, says the cancel app. Wait, okay, you guys can't joke around about this because I actually don't know sports. And you got, like... I'm having to take what you guys say as gospel on MLB facts. I feel like Rodriguez is probably... Eris Rodriguez. Ooh, Eris. Aaron Rodriguez? Alex Rodriguez? You being a DD means your friends can drink even more. This is true, but I don't have any friends, Jesse. I don't have those. I'm joking. I did used to be the DD for my friends, and then I just started going to bars alone because I didn't like being put in that position where I had to, like, wrangle all of my very drunk, very angry, emotional friends at the end of every weekend. It, like, wasn't fun for me. It was like this really weird thing where I got to hang out with my friends, but then I was always dreading the end of the night where I had to hold people's heads up while they vomited and chase people around the building and, oh, so-and-so lost her phone and now somehow I'm responsible. I didn't like doing that. It was like being a babysitter, except I wasn't paid. I was paying, actually. So I eventually just started going to bars by myself, but I still kept, like, you know, I still didn't drink, but I still kept telling people I was a DD because, I don't know. It does get you some sick treatment sometimes. Kiwi's check-in is yesterday I had a crisis over time passing and life, so I ended up not streaming. That sounds dope. But I posted my drawing with the bush. I did see it. I saw it on Instagram, Kiwi. But today I'm better. I just have my cat bath. Just gave my cat a bath. He did okay. I feel like no one talks about that. I feel like my friends just don't talk to me about their cats, probably. I imagine cats never bathe. Are never bathed. Jesse says, one less person, but 3 out of 5 people can drink one more person's worth. That's a pretty good point. Izzy says, check in. I've got lessons today and didn't practice, so I can expect a scolding from my teacher. Oh. Well, I hope the lessons go well. Maybe you'll get practice in lessons? I don't understand how lessons work. I'll give you all the drinks, Omni says Kiwi. I mean, I just want water. Bars here don't carry Kelpis, so just water. In the bar. Maybe Liquid Death if they got it. If you know, you know.